Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the first ever Headfirst Player Spotlight episode. My name is Michael Rothstein. I'm thrilled to be joined by current 2027 grad out of the Providence School of Jacksonville, Florida, invited to play in the PG Junior National Showcase later this year, and Headfirst alumni, Preston Ricchini. How are we, my man? Dude, it's great to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Look, it's crazy to think that the last time we were face to face, you were on the baseball fields at Lasorda Legacy Park in Long Island. You were a freshman doing your thing, flashing some leather at the hot corner, which is something, I'm excited to talk about later on. But first, I wanted to just ask, how are things going? Tell us where you're at right now. You might be in the midst of a high school baseball season, which is always super exciting. But I know you had the opportunity to do some really cool things in the fall. So maybe take us through that, what you did, following up last summer and get us to here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely last summer ended on a good note. I hit around 475 on like 70 75 at bats on PG. Then I played
Awesome.
some PBR tournaments here and there. And then I went definitely obviously I went to head first, and then I went to some PG events, and then during the fall we had some fall baseball for high school, and then I played for the Burn, and I just trained a bunch and then got stronger and faster and everything that I could do. And right now we're going through high school season. We just finished our last regular season game last night, and district starts up next Tuesday. So that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome, man. Dude, high school playoff baseball is some of the most electric and adrenaline building baseball that there is out there. I remember when I was part of it. I mean, are you guys expected to do well this year? What's the expectation, man? What's the goal?
Yeah, I think we're expected to do well. We have a pretty stacked district and region, though. We have Trinity Christian in our district and our region, who's one of the top teams in the state, and then definitely the country as well. But we're 15-9 right now. We're ranked like 40th in the state, so should be fun.
Hey man, nothing like Florida baseball. Been there, done that. It's great. It's great getting out of the field. So look, man, awesome stuff, Preston. I'm super excited to talk to you today. And the first thing I really want to talk about is the why, right? Why we're here in the first place. And give our audience an opportunity to really learn a little bit about you, learn about Preston, right? So take us back. All myself included. At one point, we were on the t-ball fields, right? Over time, you keep playing, you keep getting better, keep pushing yourself, and you come to a point where you're like, man, I want to keep playing this game, right, for as long as I possibly can. So take me to when you first began to realize that playing college baseball was a real goal for you, and why you really wanted to pursue it.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the last few years, I've realized that college baseball is a goal to me. Ever since I was growing up, I wasn't always the biggest kid, but I had some good tools that were able to play out and get you further in baseball than some other kids. And I feel like the past few years, I went through some injuries, and then I was able to bounce back through them. And I was able just to have a really good past few years. And I feel like I've gotten a lot of recognition from some coaches that give me some like confidence boost. And I just feel like that I've been playing pretty good. And I feel like there's definitely like a chance that I could play at like a high academic, like Division 1 school. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I love how you said, you had some skills, man. You're using your smarts, your mind on the baseball field. I like that. I like that whole higher academic. So look, man, like so far, you're young, right? You got a long baseball career ahead of you, hopefully. So, one thing that baseball really teaches us, and everyone says it because it's true, right? It's a game of failure. But taking it a step further, in my opinion, it's a game of adjustments, right? So what have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in your young baseball career, and how have you worked to adjust them and overcome them?
Some of my biggest challenges, I would say, have came through some of my injuries in the past. I was out of baseball around for 4 different times for some injuries, and they lasted a different like span each amount. Like some were like a few months, some were upwards to about like 6 or 7 months. And I feel like during that time I wasn't able to work on baseball that much. And that's when I was able to get into school a little bit more because I didn't know what was going to work with baseball. But I feel like with baseball, like you said, with how it's adjustments, if you just keep working on like your craft and stuff, then that's all you can do, and you just gotta let it play out from there. But another one of like an adjustment, I would say it's a hard challenge. Is like sometimes I like don't always feel like confident at the plate because I might like not have a hit in my past few games, but everyone goes through that. But just like keeping your eye on it, that like that you know that you're gonna eventually get it back going. Just gotta stay confident through it all.
And you just got to trust the process, right? It's a game that it gives and it takes, but that's what's great about it, and that's why we play it. Um, look, man, something that's super unique about you and what you've been able to do. You've been playing varsity baseball since you've been a freshman, right? Takes me back to my days playing at college, man. When I was a freshman, I was playing in Florida. I mean, it's competitive, right? First AV, you're facing a guy 3, 4 years older than you. Did that ever phase you? Right? And then, at what point did you just like, all right, man, like, hey, I'm a baseball player. I know what I'm doing. Like, it's the same stage. Like, how did you overcome that? And then also really begin to start to excel?
Yeah, I feel like for most kids, like if you're a freshman or just an underclassman in general, like playing your first few varsity games, you're gonna feel a little nervous and probably not the most confident. But it was good for me because one of my first at bats was against a Virginia commit, like around 6'5", and he was sitting around like
There you go.
93 and
There
94, and
you go.
I was able to have two decent at bats off him. I walked the one at bat, and then I grounded out to second the other at bat, and just like knowing that I was able to like at least have some good quality at bats off a pretty good arm, it just made me feel a lot more confident going through the rest of that season and into this season.
No, I mean, look, that's absolutely off. That's awesome, man. That's an awesome story. Look, man, something I always love to ask players, whether they realize it or whether they don't, what is one part of your game that you honestly take the most pride in, right? It could be one area where you've been working the hardest to improve, and you've been able to turn maybe something that was once a weakness, but now into a strength. So what is that one thing there that you really like love about your game and you take a lot of pride in?
I definitely like how usually pretty aware of the situations before like the pitch occurs, and then I feel like I definitely take better quality at bats than most people. Right now, I lead my high school team in walks, and I'm up there in average too with them. So I feel like that's definitely just taking quality at bats is one of my specialties. And then probably one thing, like you said, that I would want to work on probably be my speed because I was working on it the past few years, but once I got some like minor setbacks, it was hard to like keep working on my speed. But I'm just getting right back into it, just knowing that in order to play college ball, that I need to definitely put in the work to get my speed better.
Dude, I love that answer. I love you mentioning you walk a lot. OBP, man, that like money ball strategy, right? Hey, if I can get on base, and then hey, if you work on the speed, now you can get on base. You can get in a scoring position, man. You could be a game changer. No, I
Yes.
love that. I love that. So now that we know a little bit about who Preston is, right? A little bit about his backstory, a little bit about his craft, his game. Let's talk about college recruitment, man. That's why we're here, and your experiences, but also the experiences you had over the summer, and one of them including our event Head First. Man, I remember seeing you there. Like I said, you were balling out. You showed your skills. I'll tell you that. So look, you've been all over, right? You've had a lot of opportunities playing at a lot of different tournaments around the country, some really big showcases. You've had the opportunity to play in front of a lot of college coaches, right? Specifically at our event last summer. So, from an event perspective or a showcase perspective, when we talk about Head First, what at Head First initially kind of caught your attention and made you honestly want to attend?
I would definitely say like the types of like schools that were there because like obviously it's gonna be hard for kids that are like undersized maybe to like be able to get these like get this attention from these like power four schools. So just having reasonable expectations of like what you want. Like for me personally, I would rather get some playing time and go to a high academic school than just going straight from the beginning and like having a harder path. So
No,
I
I
just
mean,
thought
I
at first, yeah, with
I
all the
think
coaches
you
that were.
I think you hit the nail on your head, and that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Was like, was there a specific moment in the 2 days that really, stuck with you, right? Was there a specific moment or interaction at Head First that was like really impactful, or anything that honestly just surprised you, and then like you wouldn't even have imagined happening at one of our events?
I feel uh like all the coaches there, they were definitely like open and like honest to you. If like you talk to you, like they're gonna tell you what they think about you and what you need to work on. And I didn't have like a specific moment that really stuck with me, but just being able to talk with all the coaches and just see what they see just definitely helps you get a better understanding of what you need to work on.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, at Head First, that's something we truly prioritize, right? And obviously it was evident to you. It's like it's giving players an opportunity to connect directly with college coaches, right? In a one-on-one setting. Yes, they're evaluating you on the field, right? Your skill, which you certainly got. You got that down. They're evaluating you in the classroom, right? Your GPA, making sure your GPA and your academics and your standards are good. But then also like they want to engage with you, like I'm engaging with you, like right now, right? Hey, I
Yeah.
want to know Preston. I want to know if he's a fit for my school and my culture and vice versa, right? You're doing the same thing. You're almost evaluating the coaches in some sense. We're like, hey, can I really see myself playing for this program and this coach, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. You know, but for as a freshman, right, in general, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it's pretty nerve wracking to walk up to a college coach who has the name of your school or the school that you want to play at across their chest, right? It's a
Yeah.
nerve wracking experience, right? I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior. See, you could be a college baseball player and you might be uncomfortable talking to your coach. Um, how did you approach talking to coaches at the event, right? And maybe what advice would you give to other players about handling those sort of conversations?
I would say that obviously because I was a 2027 at the time, they weren't able to talk to me like too much into detail. But
Hmm.
so I was more so the questions were about like learning about their school more, learning about what their baseball players major in, just in case like if I wanted to go there, I could see what most of the players do and like how their like campus life is while playing the sport. But for kids that go to head first and that want to ask questions to the coach, I would say if you can't get talked to fully, like because you're not old enough, I would say that you just ask the similar questions that I asked. But if you're able to get looked at, I would specifically ask the coaches what they see in you and what they think you need to be able to work on in order to have a chance to play at their school.
No, I love that. I'm a huge advocate, right? Feedback, feedback, feedback. And when you have access to coaches who are really the evaluators of talent at the next level, right? So they're going to be able to give you super, super specific feedback directly that can impact your game. Talk about your strengths, talk about your weaknesses, and then take those weaknesses and turn them into your strengths. And then you'll come back, right, as a more well rounded baseball player that really can fit at one of these programs or multiple of these programs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one last thought on recruiting and headfirst, right? For players that are just starting out their recruiting journey, which for you wasn't so far long ago, right? It was just a couple of years, if not a year ago. What's something that you wish you knew earlier and wish you could go back and tell yourself?
I would say definitely try to work on your measurables, like whatever it is, like your exit velo, your throwing velo, all this stuff, because you could be good, but like in order to have a better chance of getting looked at, if you have high numbers, then there's more of a chance that you're gonna get like an opportunity to be in front of coaches and for them to like really like look into you and just give you a chance.
That's awesome. Hey man, I like what you're saying. That means you gotta get in the cage, get in the weight room, get bigger, faster, stronger, right? Get those metrics up. Awesome, man. So look, we've kind of established the reason why you attended Head First, right? You said, you like higher academic schools and you want to get a chance to play, right? I think,
Yeah.
what you're really looking to do is maybe marry baseball with academics, right? Using baseball as a tool to also get a great education, but not also sacrificing anything on the baseball side, right? And then for those who don't know you, your grades, man, are as electric as you are on the field. Like I'm looking at the 4.8 GPA, bunch of AP courses, founder and president of the Providence Investment Club, Spanish Honor Society member, and get this, ranked number one of 121 students in the class of 2027 at your high school. Dude, you're on the valedictorian track. That's something to be proud of. I don't know about you, man. That's pretty impressive to me. So tell me, why is getting a strong education just as important to you as playing high level baseball in college?
I feel like it's different for everyone, but also it's similar for everyone at the same time because anyone, it doesn't matter how good you are at baseball, you can get injured in just one play, and then it could alter your whole future. And just the importance of going to a good school, getting a good degree, because you never know what can happen. And if baseball doesn't work out or because of injuries or you just somehow don't turn out to what you were expected to be, then it's important to put yourself ahead of the game and try to just get a good education so it's easier to get a better job or do whatever you want to do in your life.
I love that, man. You're setting yourself up, man, right? You're giving yourself plan B. I mean, hey, plan A still baseball all the way, but plan B, right? I love that, and we talk about, your not only commitment and determination on the field, right? But also in the classroom, right? To what you've been doing, and maybe for somebody who's a freshman, sophomore, honestly, at any age, it's a lot to balance, right? It's not easy to play a sport and then do amazing in the classroom, and then also now you got to balance recruiting, right? That's almost a job in itself. So, what are ways that you've been able to balance kind of your schoolwork with the demands of training and then travel baseball?
Yeah, it's definitely hard during high school season. You get a little more leeway during the summer unless you're taking like some summer courses like some kids
Mhm.
do. But during high school season, at least I'm lucky at my school. I have a period for study hall, which is a free 50 minutes. You get to do whatever you want. So usually I try to get as much of my work done in that period as I can, and then I'll go to baseball practice, and then usually if I'll finish it up after school. But sometimes if I'm too tired from baseball or if I have a game and I get back late, then I could finish it up. I'll wake up early tomorrow morning and the next morning and I'll finish it then. So
No,
just getting
that's
ahead.
awesome. Getting ahead, get ahead, stay ahead. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the motto. No, I mean, talk a little bit more about that. Right. Getting ahead. So why is that important to you? Right. Does it just help you plan your week? Does it plan your month? Like, what is it in your mind that really helps you get ahead and also stay ahead?
I feel like if you get ahead, then it'll definitely help you like just feel more confident with like anything in life. If you get ahead, you'll just feel better about it, and you just once you get ahead of it, you don't have to worry about it. So you have nothing that'll hold you back, and you could just do what you want in your free time.
Exactly. Avoiding procrastination, right? And I
Yes.
think what you're saying, I mean, is great, one, because you're also putting these pillars in place earlier rather than later, right? And this doesn't just set you up, for success for high school, right? But in college, right? This is the expectation, right? That you're excelling and working hard both on the field and also in the classroom and making sure you're doing it in a really good way. So, hey man, props to you. You're ahead of the game. I love it.
Thank you.
So, look, we talked about a couple things. We talked about the recruiting space, and what you've kind of done and some of your experience. But I also don't want to hide away from the fact that it certainly is challenging, right? The recruiting process, and you're in the midst of it, and I went through it as well. It has its ups and downs. There are no two paths that are really ever the same, right? Everyone has a different journey. So for you, how have you been able to handle those early pressures and maybe some degree of uncertainty that comes with college recruitment?
I feel like I'm at a young age, so college recruitment isn't like really like too much pressure forced on me right now because I only can get looked at so much. So I feel like right now, just working on what I'm weak at is the best I could do right now, and just see what the future holds for me as I get older and I'm able to talk to coaches more.
No, that's awesome. And something I also want to going back to our event, right? Let's say you come to your play that comes to a head first event and we play 3 games. Let's say the first game you play, it's just not your day, right? You
Yeah.
just don't have it. You don't play great in front of, maybe your supposed dream school. To a player that could be nerve wracking, right? It could be detrimental, and you can get down. You know, but in those sort of moments, how have you been, or how would you be able to respond? Like, what would you do to respond?
Yeah, I could definitely. I would say first off, I related to that because the first at bat I had first, I think I struck out, but after that, I went five for my next six in my next six at bats. So just realizing that few at bats or whatever it is, it's not going to affect you because in baseball, the good thing about it is you can go 0 for 4 one day, and then the next day you could go back and go out 2 for 4, 3 for 4, and you could be back up in the 300s and just succeeding. So.
Awesome. So staying on theme, right? A lot of uncertainty out there. So what do you think might be the best way for a player who's currently in high school, right? Could be younger like yourself, to kind of see and get a sense of where they fit currently, in regards to other players in their class, but then also like in regards to, playing at the next level.
Yeah, I would definitely say that showcases help you get a better understanding of like who you truly are as a player, as like you probably get like some feedback from some coaches. But I also feel like maybe sending in some like emails to some college coaches of like some of your highlights and just getting some feedback from them is like a great way to see like where you are in the recruiting process and see what they think about you.
No, that is awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. So you talk about getting your info in front of coaches, right? When you're at an event like a Head First or a showcase, it's obviously easy, right? It's accessible. The coaches are right there. But you also talk about sending information, via email or even social media, right? Social media has certainly became a huge component and a big player in the college recruiting space. So how have you personally been able to leverage your social media to kind of advance you in the recruiting process?
Yeah, I definitely feel like social media is an advantage to me through the recruiting process because I feel like Twitter is like a great app where like a lot of college coaches are on because they want to see like people like who are in high school or maybe even people in the transfer portal. They just want to see like what they're made out of and just see how they play. And I feel like it's a great way to get yourself out there because Twitter, it's like you could have like some just like a few at bats at a time, or like maybe just a video of you hitting in the cage, like of your swing. And these college coaches find it appealing to just like see like your true like skills of the game. So I feel like that it's just like Twitter's a great resource to use, and like you said, you could just email them or just any way to reach them through social media is a great way in the recruiting process.
That's awesome. And taking it a step further, what if I was to pull up Preston's Twitter X account right now? What am I finding on that? Like, am I finding your GPA? Am I finding highlights? Am I finding cage? Am I finding you working out in the weight room? Like, what is on your feed, man? What do you put on there?
I feel like a combination of almost everything that you said. Like my GPA is up there in my bio, like where I'm ranked in my class, what travel team I play for, and if you go on like the actual like posts on there, like sometimes you'll see just like pictures of like me at my baseball games, just just getting it out there to show like through like the journey of my high school career. But I also have like a lot of videos where I'm at either lessons or like some videos of my at bats in the games where I have some barrels throughout the week or whatever it is.
That's awesome. And do you showcase a lot of your metrics on social media as well? Kind of like, if you're in the cage, exit velocity, like, you have a hit tracks or a trackman. Is that stuff you also post on that as well?
Yeah, I sometimes post for that stuff. I think I just posted recently actually, a few weeks ago maybe, of me hitting 96 exit velo in the cage, and it was just me with a picture next to the track man saying what my exit velo was and all that. So
Oh,
sometimes,
I
yeah.
You heard it here first. So everybody listening, now we got to go all on Preston's Twitter. We all got to check out his 96 exit velocity, man. That's awesome. Look, now I don't want to take too much more of your time, but I do want to end our chat with some fun, lighthearted questions. I'm gonna do a little bit of rapid fire. You ready for them?
Yes.
All right. First question, man. If you could play a game in any college ballpark, where would it be?
Feel like it would probably be TCU because
Oh, okay.
I actually had a showcase there before, and I absolutely love their field first off, and I just love like the environment like around that area, like just on campus and everything. But I just really like their field with how they have like the turf, like where home plate is, and
Mhm.
I just like the feel of the field, and then like I just feel like it looks cool with all the stands, and I just feel like it sticks out.
That's awesome, man. You want to be a horn frog.
Yeah.
Next question. What is your go-to walk-up song? And I changed mine a bunch of times throughout my college career, but what's yours, and is there a story behind why you picked it?
I was actually deciding on two between two to start the year for high school. I was deciding between the Sweet Escape, which
Oh,
it's just like a lot of people in baseball have it. Like for example, like Gunnar Henderson and MLB has
hmm
it. I just feel like it's pretty catchy. But I actually ended up picking Trap Queen by Fetty Wap, and I picked that because at the time it was pretty popular on TikTok, and
all right.
I just liked it at the time.
Hey, man, I like it. Hey, you're mixing it up. You're not mainstream. That's how you stick out. You got to have a good walk-up song, man. You got to have a good
Yeah,
walk-up song.
absolutely.
So, look, man, you play the hot corner, you play the infield. If you had to create a dream infield, any player, any level, any era, Who are you taking?
Hmm. Well,
We could go
I,
around the horn. We can go around. We can start with catcher and work our way around.
I do have some Philadelphia Phillies bias because just grew up watching them and going to their games and stuff. So even though Bryce Harper used to play outfield, I would definitely put him over there at first
Hey, he's
base.
a good glove. He's a good glove.
Um, I'll probably just do current players for now. Is probably what like my dream team would be.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at second base, I would go with I don't know, maybe Mookie Betts or someone.
All right, all right. I like it. I like it.
Um, Shortstop, I'll go with probably L.A. De La Cruz, just because he has a lot of projectable talent and
Oh yeah, he's flashy.
good player. And then third base, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like Manny Machado. He makes a lot of good plays over there as a great third baseman,
Mm-hmm.
and just see a lot of his highlights from time to time. So I'll go with him.
You're
And
smooth.
then for catcher, to be honest, yeah, like I said, probably some Philly bias. Go with JT Realmuto.
Hey man, he's an athletic catcher. You don't find a lot of those guys out there. He's pretty good. I mean, I like that. I was waiting for you to say at third base I'm putting myself, but we got some time. We'll get there in a couple of years, man. A couple of years, I'm telling you. Couple more. Give us your perfect baseball game day meal. What are you eating pregame? And let's say you have a day. You have a day at the plate. Do you have any little post game treats, anything like that?
Well, me and a lot of my teammates, we actually either before the game or after the game, we actually end up going to Chipotle a lot.
All right.
Just a bowl of double white rice, chicken, cheese, and then maybe some sour cream on it.
All right, sweet. Hey, we gotta get those brand deals out there. Chipotle, you gotta listen up. Preston, get him on your radar. He's the next NIL deal coming. No, that's awesome. And then last question: is there any specific baseball memory that is just like ingrained in your mind that you want people to know?
Um, I feel like I've had a lot of good travel ball memories, but they go pretty far back. So I'll give one of my recent memories. Probably just my first ever hit in varsity. It was off of a JU commit throwing around 90, and it just felt really good at the time just to get first varsity hit as a freshman and just get going with your varsity baseball career.
I love it, man. And you got a lot of varsity career left, man. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Preston, dude, love talking to you. It's awesome. Awesome to getting to know you. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Like I said, I know you got playoffs to gear up to. Then you got summer ball. Excited to see you again later this summer. You're going to turn a lot of heads. You already did last summer, but you're going to turn some more this summer. So I'm super, super excited there. Man, thank you for taking the time. Love chatting with you. This is our first episode in the books. Preston Ricchini, #1.
Thank you.